Hey everyone, welcome back to Yellow Door. I'm Barbara, and if you're new here, well, buckle up. This is where we explore some of the deepest, most powerful archetypes that shape our lives in ways we often don't even realize. Today we're going to be talking about the wolf archetype, one that's as mysterious as it is powerful. Now let me tell you, I wasn't always aware of the influence the wolf could have on me. It wasn't until a few years ago, when I found myself at a crossroads, that I truly understood the deeper meaning behind this archetype. You see, I was facing a situation where I had to decide between standing my ground or following the pack, and believe me, it wasn't an easy choice. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for teamwork. But when you're faced with a decision that shakes your core, you realize the wolf's energy within you has a lot to say. So let's break it down. First off, let's talk about how the wolf shows up in our everyday lives. Wolves are known for their loyalty, strength in community, and also their independence when needed. Sounds familiar, right? Whether we're talking about work, relationships, or personal growth, we can see the wolf's energy everywhere. Take work, for instance. Picture yourself at your job. There's always that one person who's reliable, who shows up for the team, but also knows when to step up and lead when things get tough. That's wolf energy right there. I remember a few years ago, I had a colleague, let's call her Sarah. She was the one who would always bring people together, make sure the project was running smoothly, but when it was time for tough decisions, she didn't shy away. That's a wolf at work, collaborative, yet fiercely individual when needed. Now let's talk about family. The wolf archetype really shines when we think about our roles within the family. We often find ourselves balancing loyalty to our loved ones with the need to break free, to venture out and discover who we are as individuals. Have you ever had that moment where your family wants one thing, but deep down you know you need something different? That's the wolf calling you to balance loyalty with independence. I mean, who hasn't had to make a decision like, do I stay with the family for the holidays, or do I finally take that solo trip I've been dreaming of? Decisions. And then there's the wolf energy in our friendships. You ever have that one friend who's fiercely loyal, the one who's always there for you no matter what? They'll drop everything to help, but they also know when to take a step back and let you figure things out for yourself. That's the wolf again, protective but not overbearing, always keeping an eye on the bigger picture. A balance between being part of the pack and trusting you to find your own way. But it's not all about balance. Sometimes the wolf shows up as the lone wolf, and I want to share a personal story about that. A few years ago, I was going through a tough time. I had to make a decision that no one else could really help me with. My family and friends had their opinions, of course, but deep down, I knew it was something I had to figure out on my own. I remember one night sitting on my porch, staring out at the sky. The world felt so vast, and I felt so small. But that was the wolf in me, reminding me that there's strength in solitude, that sometimes we need to walk alone to find our way back to the pack, stronger and more sure of ourselves. Let me tell you though, being a lone wolf isn't all bad. It's when I learned some of the most important things about myself, like, who else is going to decide which ice cream flavor you like best if you don't spend some time on your own, right? Now, let's dive into something just as important, the shadow side of the wolf archetype. We've talked about loyalty, independence, and strength, but every archetype has its shadow. For the wolf, that shadow can be loneliness, aggression, or the fear of abandonment. Wolves are pack animals after all, so when we embody the wolf archetype, the danger is that if we lean too far into independence, we isolate ourselves. We might push others away in the name of self-reliance, and that can lead to feelings of deep loneliness. I've been there. There was a time when I was so focused on building my career that I unintentionally distanced myself from people I loved. I thought I was being strong, but really, I was cutting myself off from the very connections that mattered most. That's the shadow side of the wolf, thinking you can do it all alone and not realizing until it's too late that you've isolated yourself. And then there's the aggression. Wolves can be fierce when protecting their territory, and we can be too. But sometimes that fierceness turns into unnecessary defensiveness. Maybe we snap at someone or push people away before they can get too close, thinking we're protecting ourselves when really we're just creating more distance. The wolf's shadow can sometimes make us overprotective of our space, forgetting that vulnerability is a strength too. You know, the wolf is such a powerful symbol, wild, fierce, loyal, but like anything in life, there's a balance. And when we ignore the shadow side of this archetype, it can sneak up on us, affecting our behaviors and relationships in ways we might not even notice at first. You ever feel that weight on your chest? That sense that you're protecting yourself from something or someone? That's the wolf's shadow creeping in. It feels like the world is closing in on you, and suddenly you're on the defensive, ready to push others away before they even have a chance to get too close. It's as if the walls around you are tightening, and your mind is telling you, I've got this on my own. I don't need anyone else. And it's not just in those big moments. It happens in the little things too, at work, in friendships, even in your intimate relationships. You snap at someone because you feel cornered, but what's really happening is the fear of losing control. You start to notice that you've built this invisible shield around you, like a thick, foggy mist that keeps people at a distance. They can sense something's off, but they can't quite figure out what. And that's the thing. You can't always see it either. The shadow wolf likes to hide in the background, blending into your everyday life, until suddenly it's messing with your relationships. You're not letting people in because you're so focused on defending your space, your territory. You become hyper-aware of everyone's actions, as if the sound of their words echoes louder than it should, like it's almost vibrating through you, triggering that deep primal need to protect yourself. So the wolf archetype, beautiful, strong, loyal, and yes, sometimes lonely. But when we understand both its light and shadow sides, we can use that energy to strengthen our relationships, grow in our independence, and navigate life's challenges with a sense of inner strength. And hey, if you've got a little wolf energy in you, whether you're the protector of your pack or someone on a solo journey of self-discovery, embrace it. But also, be mindful of that shadow. Stay connected, stay balanced, and don't be afraid to let others in. Thanks for spending some time with me here at Yellow Door. If you found this helpful, or if it resonated with you, give this video a like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Are you more of a lone wolf or a pack leader? Let's chat.